Hi, folks. Let's talk a little bit about Hillary Clinton. But first, I want you to listen to what she's saying about Donald Trump. Now, the thing that you've got to keep in mind is that Hillary has had nothing but scandal after scandal after scandal since she first entered politics back in the 70s. So let's take a listen to what she's got to say, and then I'll be back.
A few weeks ago, I said his foreign policy proposals and reckless statements represent a danger to our national security. But you might think that because he has spent his life as a businessman, he'd be better prepared to handle the economy. Well, it turns out he's dangerous there, too. Just like he shouldn't have his finger on the button, he shouldn't have his hands on our economy. Now, I don't say that because of typical political disagreements. Liberals and conservatives say Trump's ideas would be disastrous. The Chamber of Commerce and labor unions, Mitt Romney and Elizabeth Warren, economists on the right and the left and the center all agree Trump would throw us back into recession. One of John McCain's former economic advisors actually calculated what would happen to our country if Trump gets his way. He described the results of a Trump recession. We would lose 3.5 million jobs, incomes would stagnate, debt would explode, and stock prices would plummet. And you know who'd be hit the hardest? The people who had the hardest time getting back on their feet after the 2008 crisis. One of the leading firms that analyzes the top threats to the global economy, called the Economist Intelligence Unit, comes out with a new list of threats every month. It includes things like terrorism and the disintegration of Europe. And this month, number 3 on the list is Donald Trump becoming President of the United States. Just think about that. Every day we see how reckless and careless Trump is. He's proud of it. Well, that's his choice. Except when he's asking to be our president. Then it's our choice.
Now, can you imagine that? Can you imagine someone like her ever telling the truth about anything? She has done nothing but lie her entire life. People that have worked for her, they all claim that she's insane and that she's a loose cannon and was constantly throwing temper fits that are just almost unimaginable. She was very cruel to the people that worked for her and treated them like they were crap. And I certainly don't want someone like that in the White House, for sure. She's been there once. She don't need to be there again. She's already shown what kind of a person that she'd be. And some of the fits that she's thrown over Donald Trump in private as well as in public, it's just outrageous. She's not fit to hold office. That doesn't include all of the scandals that she's been in, most recent being her email. Anybody with a brain about them knows that you don't handle government business on a private server. And she's done that. They've already shown that the email that she had was, in most cases, top secret or above. Now, she says that she never sent or received anything that was, you know, labeled as top secret. Doesn't have to be. Common sense tells you this is not the kind of stuff that goes on an email server. I don't care who you are. And the fact that she had this stuff on her server makes her guilty of espionage because it was outside the realm of the government servers. Now, if somebody had gotten in to the government servers, that's a horse of a different color. But they didn't. Gosifer got into her email server on more than one occasion. It's been shown that other people have gotten in to the server. Russians, Iranians, Saudi Arabians, and no telling who else. And she says that she's done nothing wrong. She's done everything wrong. And she thinks that she's above the law. Now, James Comey is the honorable man that Judge Jeanine Pirro has made him out to be, then he would call for indictment. And it needs to be done before they have the convention, because she has no business being the nominee for any party. And she sure doesn't deserve the right to run for the President of the United States. She talks about Trump driving us into a recession. I don't believe that for a minute. The man's a billionaire with a B. And you don't get that way, you know, by not being smart about economics. Last I heard, I think Donald Trump was worth somewhere in the neighborhood around $10 billion. And I can tell you, with him paying for his own campaign up to this point, tells me that he doesn't want to be bought. He's not for sale. And I'll go for that kind of person before I'll go over somebody like Hillary Clinton that's taking money from the Saudis, the Iranians, and many other countries that enslave people. All Muslim countries that believe in treating women poorly, treat them like slaves. And I mean, they're just, you know, the list goes on how Muslims treat their people. And it's made the news too many times for people to not know. And this is the kind of people that she's taken money from for her campaign. Most of the reports I've seen show that so far they've furnished 20% of her campaign funds. I'm sure there's others that are from overseas, which now that I'm thinking about it, it's illegal for another country to donate to the campaign for a president of the United States, which is another thing that she's involved in that's illegal. So let's think about this. I sure don't want her finger on the trigger, I can tell you that. She'd launch nuclear missiles and nothing flat, just to spite us. She's another Barack Obama, only on a worse scale. And we've got to do something about her. So, Mr. Comey, if you're watching this video, or any of your people, I'm calling for you to indict Hillary Clinton and remove her from the presidential campaign, because she deserves to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. As far as the list of things that she was talking about, an organization that supposedly figures out the worst things that could happen. Well, I haven't found that organization, and I've been searching for it. So I think that it's another lie that she's made up just to put Trump down. There's a number of things that Hillary says that everybody knows a lie, but yet she makes the dumbed down liberals and progressives believe it, and she believes it herself. I mean, you tell a lie enough times, you begin to believe it yourself, and that's exactly what she's done. She's insane. She has absolutely no business being in office. I mean, none, zero, zip. So let's make sure that she doesn't get in office. I don't like Bernie because he's a socialist, but I'd vote for him long before I'd ever vote for Hillary. But I'm not voting for either one. I'm voting for Trump. And a lot of you may think that it's biased. No, it's not bias. It's common sense. Donald Trump is the only hope that we've got of ever turning our government around to where it actually works for the people. And if we don't take that chance and go with him, folks, we're not going to have a country. We're going to have a North American Union, and we're going to be overrun by Muslims. She's called for a 500% increase in the importation of refugees, which is another subject. In the Constitution, the only thing that's in there is a pathway to naturalization upon application of people entering the United States. There is nothing whatsoever in the Constitution that allows for refugees. Nothing. Look it up yourself. Read the Constitution if you haven't. That's something everybody needs to do. There is no way in heck that I would ever vote for somebody that would want to do that to our country. And that's what she's wanting to do. That would lose more than any 3.5 million jobs, because every one of them that they bring over here takes our jobs or sits on their butt and draws welfare at our expense. Folks, we can't allow that to happen. It's been too hard of a struggle up to now, and Hillary's only going to make it 100 times worse. So I hope you'll think about it. If you've got any questions, feel free to come on our website and ask anything you want, because we're there for everybody that is a patriot of the United States, not some of these libertards and progressives that want to see our country under world domination. So let's think about it. I hope to see y'all soon, and you'll see my links for the site below. Thanks, and have a great day.